Hi, Dr. TJ Dixon, your intuitive guide to transformation, connecting to your best life. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about where I have been. I had put out a video earlier, probably a couple of weeks ago, saying that I'm back and I would explain where I've been for the approximately last 2 years. I think that last time I shot a video, other than the one a couple of weeks ago, was about 2 years ago this month. So, what happened? Well, as I started 2019, I was hopeful that I was going to have this fantastic year and be putting out content regularly. However, my mother got sick and we found her unresponsive on January 6th, and she later went on to transition in February. And so, for the 6 weeks or so that she was, 7 weeks actually, that she was um, ill, and we were hoping she was going to get better. Um, it was a complete yo yo, up and down, up and down, up and down. And so, after she transitioned, I had to take on a lot of responsibility even before she transitioned, because I was a power of attorney and then became a personal rep over her estate. And so that had me trying to deal with responsibility as well as grief. And there was a part of me that was just really torn. I'm the youngest, and I just wanted to be able to really kind of be like a baby and just be able to be sad and upset and grieve my mom's transition. But I had to take on responsibility and still honor my mother when she was ill, when she transitioned, to honor her legacy. And a beautiful legacy it is. So I'm still waiting on one other thing to finally wrap her estate up, and we're all the way into 2020. So it's been nearly 2 years since her transition, and I'm just waiting on one final thing in order to really be done with the estate side of it. But that's not all that happened in 2019. Um, I'm very close to my family, and so there were a number of life-changing moments in the family. We had marriages and divorces, births, my mother's transition. Um, and so there was just a lot going on. And it seemed like initially in 2019, time went so slowly. And then I think it got to be about April or May, it seemed like time sped up. And by the time I looked around, we were already at the end of the year. Um, Additionally, I took on even more work that I do. Um, and so, I got a bigger contract, and work just kind of just, I had, and that's a good thing. I had a lot of work going on. I was dealing with the transition of my mother. I was trying to deal with my grief. I was dealing with her estate. I was dealing with um, pregnancy announcements. Um, it was just a lot of things going on. And so I started 2019 in the ICU with my mom. As a family, we were with her 24/7 until she transitioned. And then I ended the year um, with the birth of a grandchild who was in NICU for a bit um, after the birth, and then finally came out a couple of weeks later. So it was just one of these emotional roller coaster years that felt like I was living 10 years. I know I'm filming this in 2020, and a lot of people are feeling like 2020 has been like a year from hell or something. Uh, and 2020 has been heavy too. I'll talk more about that later. But for me personally, 2019 was just this tremendous year. And I learned a lot from it. One thing I learned from it is it's okay to step away. I had been shooting videos and doing this pretty much weekly for a number of years. But sometimes you just have to step away and do what you need to do in order to keep yourself sane, in order to keep yourself whole as you're going through major transition, and in order to give yourself grace and take a break. So that's one thing. The other thing that I learned is super important to understand your legacy. When you are no longer here physically, when you transition, what's your legacy going to look like? I started thinking about that a lot after my mother's transition, since she left such a beautiful legacy. So what does your legacy look like? What do you want people to say at your services? My mother's service was so beautiful that I wish we had videotaped it, and videoed it, and I've never thought to video such an event. But the things that her descendants said about her, about how she had lived and how she touched their lives, was just, it was just amazing. And to witness that was beautiful. So 2019, huge, huge, huge. Felt like 10 years in one for me and some of my family as well. But the two big themes: taking time for yourself and really stepping back if you need to, even from something wonderful and something you enjoy doing. And also, what is your legacy? What do you plan on your time on this planet to reveal, to show, to live on? All right. So that's kind of where I've been for 2019. I'll talk more about what's happened with 2020 in a later video. Thank you so much for watching, and may you live your best life.